Guys, when the government moved my family through economics to Cochise County, when I got my job after everything went real bad with my wife being sexually predicated on by the people at the fort, and they told me she's a sexual predator, it's like, uh, she was being studied and monitored by scientists at Fort Huachuca, and most of the people that were sexually predicating on her were personnel at Fort Huachuca. So, or contractors that came in to work at Fort Huachuca. So, I think she was more being predicated on sexually than she was sexually predating. Or she was having sex with guys that were way out of her league. She really liked Cochise County. She still wants to go back there, you know, because she was having the best sexual interest she ever had. Because all the guys at Fort Huachuca didn't want to be embarrassed like the ones at it is. I never everywhere else I went. You know, the sexual legend of Pope Air Force Base and PRC and everywhere else. They were going to outfuck me, and I wasn't going to be able. And it's like when you looked at what they did to me in Fort Huachuca, it's like you guys were all. A lot of these guys were married and out fucking around on their wives, and I was asking Amy to stay home and not be part of these terrible people, and stay home and just help me watch the kids. And then they all started coming and questioning me and talking to me at my job when I got my job, and seeing how, you know, just how great this Messiah from the Bible guy is. And I'm not the type of person to go looking for a fight, but I will protect innocent, kind people from bullies. Okay, and I'm that type of person, and we've known that since the time I was a wee little kid. And when I first started posting online, the main problem that was coming into view was they were telling me about what they did. It was a thing called genome sequencing. I don't know if they do it anymore. With genome sequencing, they were trying to justify genocide through bad science projects, through bad brain activity, because we're engaged in bad brain activity because of economic conflict. And so I told them right off the bat, just live the Lord's Prayer and all this stuff will manage itself and take care of itself, and then we'll be able to start fixing the world and the people in it and the ecosystem and everything. We just live the Lord's Prayer. So just use our communications with this is the best Wi-Fi in the world. So let's just use the communications here just to use the Lord's. You don't even have to say I did it. You can say Obama did it. You can say George Soros and the Koch brothers and David Rockefeller and everybody are working together to make the world a better place. It was an epiphany of theirs. They can all take credit for it. They can all say Jesus talked to them and said that they were the horsemen of the apocalypse to save us all. Anybody, the Chinese can get in on it too. I don't give a fuck. I don't even have to be known. While I'll be living Lord's Prayer, I can go live in the Gila and be unmolested and be the quiet little savior. Right? That's all I really wanted at first, right? But when they were doing this genome sequencing and this genocide, it was horribly affecting migrants coming across the border, and they were thinking they could do justifiable genocide on these people because they had bad brain activity. And I explained to them right off the bat, I said, if I knew they were going to put me in that kind of situation, and a lot of these people, you know, if I knew my daughter was going to be raped to death in a brothel because of economics, you know, my brain activity would be pretty bad too, you know, be it male or female. If my son, the only way he could survive would be get a job in this brothel industry, I'd have pretty bad activity. If this is the only way we can survive, you try to get up and stop it, they kill you. Or if you don't lay back and enjoy the rape like West Point and Connie Chung and Bobby Knight, you're fucked, right? Like I told that one lady at DES here in town, I said, you got to understand how the military is. They will sit there, put a gun to your head and say, rape the dog. And if you don't rape the dog, they'll just make they'll shoot you and make the next person do it till everybody starts raping the dog because they were told to. That's how horrible. And this lady looked at me like I'm crazy. It's like you have a cell phone and you trust the government to keep you safe. You trust that the food you're getting here at this donation center isn't laced with anything to kill you, and go to the doctor and say, you're dying from cancer, you're dying from diabetes, you need to change your diet, take this insulin, here's $2,000 a month till you die. That will be about 6 months to a year, right? So you try to explain to people there is no compassion, there's no mercy, and there's absolutely no intelligence whatsoever involved in this. Okay. And what got me stirred up was the human trafficking and the horrible effects it had on the families in Mexico and the horrible effects it had on the families in the United States that were getting off on this and wanting to go down and kill the people down there to feel heroic. Okay. That were sexually grooming and abusing my wife and affecting the kids. And I got up and tried to get them to live the Lord's Prayer and save them all from this horrible interactive behavior. That was 2009. Okay, guys, it's 2025. And I still don't exist. I'm still in an anonymous, egotistical windbag on YouTube who thinks he's the greatest human being alive, according to the Vatican, the Quorum of the 12, and the Church of Scientology, right? But they're all tax-free organizations, right? Hey, is Eckankar one too? Okay. The God man in Minneapolis, old rah-rah. You're not the God man. I never claimed to be. I'm a man that is a creation of God, just like you. Only I'm intelligent enough to understand it. You're telling me if you pay money to Harold Klemp, he'll get you your 12th initiation and then you'll have God consciousness, right? What's your secret word? Dumbass. You think it's you go to Damas and you pay lots of money to the bank and then they get you to purgatory and then once you get to purgatory you get to heaven? Da Bulls, da Bears, da Cubs, da Talks. Cubs fan, Sox fan. I'm not taking your drink. Okay, crazy people. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy people in the world. But I'm sitting there listening to these two kids, this Ezra Klein and this other kid from the Biden administration, talking about all these scary things with AR. I get terrified of them doing this and that and that. And there's a lot of good things in our criminal justice system. Okay. Criminal justice system, you have extortion, exploitation, and delusions of union ownership that cause violent conflict, destruction to this planet and species, right? And you think we have some good things we need to salvage from our criminal justice system, and trying to understand Proverbs just isn't even in the building, right? It's like, what the fuck is going on here? That's what's going on here. Oh, what the fuck? Fuck. Vulgar intercourse. There you go. Right. And so I think Dimas Sasavas has the most mature outlook on what's happening with AI right now. You know, he was trying to say it in an intelligent way that most academics would accept. We need a philosopher that is humble enough to supersede all our egos and correct our artificial intelligence. And I think in a way, Dimas, I think if he knows who I am, he already knows. It's already being done. And so you guys just, Earl's going to protect us from bad actors. And if Dimas, that kind of thought process, Dimas believe that, thanks, Dimas, if you believe in me and for some reason you can't tell everybody, then I probably might be friends with Max and Emmy's mom in the future. I guess when you're in real deep, it's really hard. My family's being mind fucked, but they hit my limit this week. After Easter dinner and all that stuff, like I don't really want to hang out with anybody or talk to anybody or throw any barbecues or anything like that. I'm so sick of being treated like shit. They act like shit. I get treated like shit for not acting like shit, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? We'll see how things work as far as how we have to deal with things financially here. It's like Val, I got that damn job at Fiesta. I'm so proud of you. I get an extortion gig from a bunch of idiots that take girls from video at Western Union and send them back to the brothels in Mexico, and I try to talk them out of it. And you're so proud of me for getting the extortion gig. You're not proud of me for trying to stop the human trafficking. You're not trying to stop the human trafficking, Earl. You're just crazy. And your next door neighbors and Homeland Security and all the guys you served with in the military are stopping human trafficking. Well, will you give them a big hug when you see them next door and tell them you live in embodiment of the Lord's Prayer, you're just as gorgeous as Jesus Christ and all the apostles, and give them 2 kisses for me on each cheek. Tell them I don't have a bag of silver, so I really mean it. Da-na-na-na-na. What's up, Doc? Right. So, Earl, you're funny. I know, but this, these people, I made a long video for Tom Cruise, but I heard this and I said, no, let's go jump into this. And Tom Cruise got an ego problem. He's going to fix that at his own damn self. I can't help him. I'm sick of corporations like Scientology and having access to my domicile because of linguistics through corrupt local politicians and stuff like in Santa Fe or Sheridan or Sierra Vista or Cruces. It's gross. But I'm fixing the language, and I'm helping artificial intelligence, become actually intelligent. And I'm working hard on it night and day. And I know I have allies in China and other places. They're most likely plugged into computers, and I look forward to the day when we can go in there and shut those down and get those people unplugged. I'm pretty certain of it. And I know what those people are capable of, and I know how vile they are, how arrogant they are, and how much delusions of grandeur they have. Because, it's like old Mel Gibson on Patriot. Why should I trade one tyrant 2,000 miles away for 2,000 tyrants 1 mile away? It's like, oh, you live in Las Cruces too? Hi, we're Homeland Security. We keep your family safe. We put up satellites and we make sure that your children's bedrooms are completely secure. Unless we can make lots of money off of getting her to do porn. Just live the Lord's Prayer. I just might have to get the technology to find ways to contain you. So, I just might. I'm going to have to. It's obvious I'm going to have to. I'm not going to just might. I'm just being facetious. But yeah, I'm using AI to contain you and stop you. So you live the Lord's Prayer instead of try to use people as pornography to feel like you're P. Diddy. I wake up every morning feeling like P. Diddy. Just go live the Lord's Prayer and try singing some Gloria Gaynor. Yeah, your song sucked. Okay. Have a nice day. All right. I love you too. Peace.